You are listening to the daily news on Vihaba channels. This is our series of providing the latest updated news about all the business-related aspects in international business, especially the Vietnamese market. Paper is one of the products with strong prices increase in 2021. In 2022, paper prices are forecast to continue to increase. Like in Vietnam and around the world, paper prices in Indian markets also increased sharply. With the rising prices and market advantages, Vietnam's paper exports targets 1.05 billion USD. In the French and American markets, Vietnam's paper market shares both increased compared to the previous year. Here are the headlines today. The first news, paper prices are forecast to continue to increase in 2022. The Vietnam's Paper Association forecasts that a decrease in Vietnam's paper output will cause paper prices to continue to increase in 2022. The second news, paper prices in the Indian markets increased sharply. Indian paper is a commodity that has been appreciated for both qualities and quantities for many years. However, in recent times, many influences caused the quantities of papers in India to change, leading to a sharp increase in prices. The third news, Vietnam's paper exports targets 1.05 billion USD. Paper prices continuously increased at the beginning of the harvest seasons. The export market is favorable. Vietnam's Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has set a target of exporting enterprises to bring paper back with a turnover of about 1.05 billion USD. The fourth news, the U.S. increased paper imports from Vietnam's market. Vietnamese papers is highly appreciated in the world, especially in the U.S. market, which tends to increase paper imports from Vietnam. The fifth news, Vietnamese paper market share in the total French imports increased. Vietnamese paper sales in total French imports increased from 37.61% in 11 months of 2020 to 40.81% in 11 months of 2021. The first news, paper prices are forecast to continue to increase in 2022. The Vietnam's Paper Association's VPA forecasts that a decrease in Vietnam's paper output will cause paper prices to continue to increase in 2022. In a recent report, VPA said that the paper supply-demand balance in 2022 will gradually return to equilibrium. Global paper production in 2022 is forecast to be lower than demand, but 2021's inventories can have met the 2022 demand. However, paper production in Vietnam is forecast to continue to be at a disadvantage due to the impacts of climate change and objective reasons, such as high fertilizers and labor costs. Therefore, in 2022, Vietnam's paper output will decrease compared to the 2021, which will make paper prices continue to increase. Along with the increase in prices, the sharp increase of input factors due to the inflation caused by the process of enterprise to decrease significantly. In particular, sea freight rates have increased by more than 500% in the past years. Inflation in 2021 is forecast to have a strong impact on the global supply chains, including paper. According to information from the International Paper Association, the total global paper production in 2021 is estimated at 550,950 tons, down 61,050 tons, or 11% lower than in 2020. In which paper production decreased in Vietnam, Brazil and Malaysia, but increased slightly in Indonesia, India and Sri Lanka. In general, low prices in recent years are no longer attractive, so paper farmers have reduced investment costs, leading to an increase in global paper production in 2021. In 2021, global papers entered a bullish cycle. The scarcity of goods in many major paper production countries in the world, along with the increase in freight rates, has pushed paper price to increase sharply by 45 to 55%. This is forecast to continue in 2022. Under the influence of world paper prices and domestic situations, Indian paper prices increased sharply. The second news, paper prices in the Indian market increased sharply. Indian papers are commodities that have been appreciated for both qualities and quantities for many years. However, in the recent times, many influences caused the quantities of paper in India to change, leading to a sharp increase in prices. Indian paper prices have started to increase in the past few months due to increasing domestic demand, with an increase of more than 30% over the same period last year. Indian paper prices have surpassed 500 rupees per kilogram, which is the highest price in the past 4 years since 2017. This increase in prices is partly due to the concern that production will decrease in the next harvest, because the harsh climate affects the paper harvest. Karnataka is the main paper-producing state of India, followed by Kerala. One reason is also believed to be a factor pushing up the paper price, in that many shipments from illegal paper were imported from Vietnam through Myanmar to the North American markets in the past. However, since the new government came to power in Myanmar, this illegal business has been stopped, making the source of goods even more scarce. India's paper market share in exports is currently very low due to the high prices. Unlike Vietnam and Brazil, which depend on the exports, India has a large domestic market. The increase in freight rates and the shortage of containers have affected paper shipments. Freight rates to the U.S. have increased fivefold to $50,000 per container. The U.S. is looking for supplies from Brazil. With the price of paper increasing sharply both in the world and in India, Vietnam has set a target to export Vietnamese paper to 1.05 billion USD. The third news, Vietnam's paper exports target 1.05 billion USD. Paper prices continuously increase at the beginning of the harvest season. The export market is favorable, so Vietnam's Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development had set a target of exporting enterprises to bring papers back with a turnover of about 1.05 billion USD. According to the calculation from statistics of the General Department of Vietnam Customs, in 2021, black pepper exports reached 194,000 tons, worth 664.11 million, down 17.2% in volumes but up 29.6% in value compared to the 2020s. In 2021, the Vietnamese black pepper export market reached more than 100 countries and territories. Meanwhile, Vietnamese white pepper exports reached approximately 22.3 thousand tons, worth 130 million USD, up 1% in volume and 56% in value compared to 2020. White peppers in 2021 were exported to about 80 countries. It is worth noting that the structures of Vietnamese pepper exports had changed. The pepper industries increased exports of white peppers and ground white peppers, while the exports of black peppers and ground black peppers decreased. However, black pepper is still the main export product, accounting for 74.3% in the total volume and 70.8% in the total export value of peppers. The agencies of foreign trade forecast that in 2022, the export pepper price will continue to stay high due to the continuous increase in pepper prices and favorable export markets. The Ministries of Agriculture and Rural Development of Vietnam aims to export pepper with a turnover of about 1.05 billion USD. Accompanying with the generous growth of Vietnamese peppers, the situation of pepper export to the U.S. had shown positive signs. The fourth news: the U.S. increased pepper imports from Vietnam's market. Vietnamese peppers is highly appreciated in the world, especially in the U.S. market, which tends to increase pepper imports from Vietnam. In 2020, the United States increased pepper imports in many main supplying markets, such as Vietnam, Brazil, and Indonesia. Statistics from the United States International Trade Commission show that in the first 11 months of 2021, the United States imported 58.1 thousand tons of pepper from Vietnam, worth $211.47 million, up 8.3% in volume and 45% in value over the same period in 2020. Vietnam's pepper market shares in total U.S. increased from 66.6% in 11 months of 2020 to 68.25% in 11 months of 2021. With the positive growth numbers, the export pepper industries in Vietnam will achieve good growth numbers, increase the values of peppers in the international market. In terms of supply structure to the U.S., Vietnamese pepper industries play an important role and is a potential source in the future. Not only has the values of Vietnamese peppers had increased in the United States, Other signs for Vietnamese peppers are also gradually shows positive signs and tending to increase in the future. The last news, Vietnamese peppers market shares in the total France imports increase. Vietnamese pepper market shares in the French import increased from 37.81% in 11 months of 2020 to 40.81% in 11 months of 2021. Data from the European Statistical Office showed that in the 11 months of 2021, France imported 11,750 tons of peppers, worth 48.19 million euros, up 5.18% in volume and 25.9% in value over the same period in 2020. In the first 11 months of 2021, the average import price of French peppers reached €4,102 per ton, an increase of 90% over the same period in 2020, in which the average import price of peppers from most foreign markets increased sharply. France increased pepper imports from Vietnam and Indonesia, but sharply decreased imports from Brazil. In the 11 months of 2021, France imported 4,795 tons of peppers from Vietnam, worth 50.6 million euros, up 40.8% in volumes and 49.2% in value over the same period in 2020. Vietnam's pepper market shares in total French imports increased from 37.61% in 11 months of 2020 to 40.81% in 11 months of 2021. That it is for Vihaba News here on Vihaba Podcast. Do stay with us because we will have many upcoming news on agricultural sectors. Subscribe to our podcast channels for